What is up, guys? Tony here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to tell you guys why did I buy a MacBook Pro in 2021. Stay tuned. And we're back. So I'm going to tell you guys why did I get the 16-inch MacBook Pro in 2021 when like the M1 MacBook Pro 13 inches out. Now I'm going to tell you why and a couple of reasons, and we'll get into that. So the first reason is, and I know this is probably going to be a little bit misleading, but I do prefer a bigger screen laptop, and that's pretty much what I've been using for years. Since my first Windows computer. My first Windows computer was a 15-inch laptop, and since then I always used 15-inch computers. I always had, I always prefer a bigger screen overall. Even on the desktop, I do prefer either a 24 or a 27-inch, most likely a 27-inch display for the desktop, and then a 15-inch display for the laptop. So the 16-inch display is actually very good. So why do I prefer a bigger screen? Well, like I said, I'm already used to it. I pretty much grew up using a bigger screen laptop for quite a while. I do like to have extra space for any application that will take up the full screen, or at least like half the screen. So the 16-inch MacBook Pro is actually a good buy if you really need a big screen laptop and you don't want to wait out on, the new M1 version of this MacBook Pro. Another thing why I went with the 16-inch MacBook Pro is the keyboard situation. Now, you guys already know the butterfly keyboard on the 15-inch MacBook Pro has not been that great. When I actually personally tried out the butterfly mechanism keyboard on the 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I honestly did not like it. It wasn't really a keyboard. I wasn't really a fan of the low travel. For me personally, I do prefer a little bit of movement when I'm typing. And I type in an odd way. I just did not end up liking the keyboard, so I kind of just put off with the 15-inch, and I waited until Apple officially, redid the 15-inch to a 16-inch and redid the keyboard. And another thing about the keyboard is the escape key. Yes, I use the escape key a lot more than I think, or a lot more than I thought. Sorry. The escape key is important. Now the touch bar. Now, I gotta be honest though, guys, I'm not really a big fan of the touch bar. Now, I know there's probably some people that are a fan of the touch bar, and people actually love it. They kind of, like the extra, settings and the extra ability that can use the touch bar, or that can use by the touch bar. But honestly, in my personal experience, just by having this MacBook Pro for 3 weeks, 3 weeks. Just for using the MacBook Pro 16-inch and using the touch bar, I have to say it's not really like a step up. If Apple would have did a lot more with the touch bar and pretty much added an exclusive feature to it, and then it'll pretty much be a big thing, and I'll pretty much use it all the time. But I find myself not really using the touch bar. I do use it to roll through the music timeline and sometimes the video timeline. So I do kind of use it for the multimedia playing, but other than that, for quick access, quick keyboard shortcuts that are on the touch bar, I already know the keyboard shortcuts. If you already know the keyboard shortcuts to your specific software that you're using, for example, Adobe Premiere Pro, I already know the quick command, and the same thing goes to Mac OS. I already know the quick command on the keyboard already, so for the people that take the quick access to the keyboard shortcuts and all that stuff, I would say it's not really that useful. And one thing that is also not really useful is that just happens to touch multiple buttons just to adjust the volume, or even adjust the brightness on the display, or even sometimes, now this is a big one for me, adjusting the brightness on the keyboard. And I actually do adjust the brightness on the keyboard often. But honestly, the touch bar, it was cool when it came out, and I was able to try it when it first came out. If you're the person that just used the keyboard shortcut, then I feel like the touch bar is most likely a gimmick. You're not really gonna not really find anything that can pretty much live up to any keyboard shortcuts that you have. Now you might add certain things to make it a little bit faster with your workflow, but once you start using it, it's just like, keyboard shortcut is a little bit quicker. I love the MacBook Trackpad. I always love Apple Trackpad. They actually have like a really good accuracy for both of them. Now sometimes I will have a little bit issues with the scrolling behavior from time to time, but as long as the trackpad is nice and smooth to use, it's a nice glass surface, I actually prefer that. It definitely comes in handy, as I do dragging often. I pretty much drag a lot of files in between computers and stuff, and between cloud servers from time to time, and just having that extra real estate on the trackpad is so nice, so that we can just have one finger and just drag it across the other side of the screen. One thing I do love also about the trackpad, and always something I always use with the MacBook trackpad, is the gestures. I always use the gestures. Pretty much my most favorite and pretty much my most used gesture I always use the most is expose. Well, they actually call it mission controls now, but I like to call it the classic, expose. So I definitely do the mission controls a lot with the trackpad, so I always go in between that often. It's always my favorite. And in my experience, MacBook Pro, touchpad, trackpad, whatever you want to call it, mousepad, whatever you want to call it, are just plain better. You just get more accuracy, you get more control, and especially with this one actually has the haptic touch technology on it. When you just when you're pressing it a little bit harder, it'll give you like a secondary click and pretty much give you like a little special quick menu system thing. Now, I did try it for a little bit. I find that I don't like it as much, and the reason why I do tend to click kind of hard on the trackpad sometimes. So for me, it's not really useful. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the port situation. Now, I personally don't mind about the dongle life. I personally don't mind it. I don't really care about it. I don't mind having dongles. I'm always having dongles anyway with regular computers that don't even have that specific port that I need. For example, a VGA connector. Yes, I still use a VGA connector today. So, you never know when you're going to need it. So the port selection, I actually don't mind it. I don't mind USB Type-C. I do love the ability of, using multiple, every single port for charging. It's actually kind of helpful in most ways, especially if you want to have a nice setup. Just have one cable to charge your MacBook Pro and have one cable to transfer data to either a dot system that has all the ports on it. It definitely comes in handy for something like this. Even if you also have a Thunderbolt display, a Thunderbolt enabled display, something like the LG monitor, you can definitely use this MacBook Pro to use those monitors on it. I also know that this MacBook Pro works with the XDR display by Apple, the 5K, 6K XDR display from the Mac Pro, and I know you can drive two of those. So I don't mind the USB-C thing. I always kind of wanted to shift from a lot of connections and stuff like that. And I don't mind to have the dongles. It's a lot better to have the dongles rather than not having the ability of doing everything. If that port can do everything all at once that I want it to do, I like it. Now, I am actually going to be using this for doing the videos, so it's definitely going to be used for video editing. Now, before I even continue, this is the base model spec MacBook Pro. For the video editing software that I'm using, it's Adobe Premiere Pro. I've been using that editing software for God knows how long. Now, another thing I'm also going to be doing with this MacBook Pro is music production. And I'm actually trying to get Logic Pro right now, so I'm in the work of getting that installed on the MacBook Pro. I'm also trying to install Serato DJ. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends if they want to know if they want to get a MacBook Pro. Now, do I still recommend it in 2021? Yeah, I still recommend it. So, make sure to share this video with your friends. And, yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Peace.